Welcome to the webinar series about Alplan Bridge solution. In today's fourth webinar, we will concentrate on drawings production in Alplan engineering. We will show you in the same example of railway bridge how you can generate deliverables necessary for your projects. In the following steps, we will show you how to create additional reports, print sets, file sets, and all necessary steps for layout creation. We will start with the creation of the reports. In the previous session we learned how to create reinforcement reports, but we will now learn that it is also possible to create additional reports from building structure directly. On the right side, in the Derived from Building Structure area, we will go to the Reports menu, and by pressing the right mouse click, we will create a new structural level. We will name this structural level Report Main Girder, and again with the right mouse click we will select the source drawing files for this report. As we would like to create the quantity takeoff for the concrete amount in the main girder, we will select only one drawing file which includes the 3D bodies of the main girder part. After this, again with the right mouse click, we will select the report template and make additional settings. There are a lot of report templates already prepared for the user. For this one, we will choose the concreting work in order to calculate the amount of concrete in the selected drawing files. We can also select the file type for the output. After this, with the right mouse click, we will generate the report. The report is open in the Alplan's report viewer, where we can view, export and print reports. By pressing the layout designer, it is also possible to edit the existing report template and change some parameters, like for example project name, date, or delete some of the parameters if we don't need them. It is also possible to save the modified template. Please pay attention that you cannot save the modified report in Alplan's default folder. Instead, you must select the Office or a project folder, and in that way save the template report for the future projects. In the next step, following the same workflow, we will create another report for the amount of the reinforcement in the abutment. For this, we will select the source drawing files which include all the reinforcement defined in the abutment, and also select the template report with the name Reinforcement Schedule Bending Shapes, and also with the right mouse click generate the report. We will make necessary changes and edit the report if necessary. The report contains bending shapes, lengths of the bars, and total weight of all the bars as well. Now that we learned how to create reports from the building structure, we will show you how to create the print sets. With the double right mouse click, we will open the layer window and select the Print Set tab. On the right side of the screen, find the Define Modify Print Set button, which will help us to define new print sets. We will create a print set with the name Abutment Reinforcement and the new group Reinforcement. Under the same reinforcement group, we will create several other print sets with the names Pile Cap Reinforcement, Pile Reinforcement, and Pier Reinforcement. A print set represents a set of layers which will help us to easier compile and arrange layouts. We will use print sets in order to control which layers are visible or hidden in some print set. When creating the layout later, only the elements whose layers are included in the selected print set will be visible in the corresponding layout. By selecting the created layers from the print set list on the right side, we will adjust the visibility of the layers according to our needs. When all necessary print sets for our project are defined, we will go to the next chapter where we will learn how to create a file sets. By right double-click with the left mouse button in the workspace, we will open a project-specific basic, and this includes building structure but also file set structure. We can create a file set by using the right mouse click on the main menu on the left side, and we will create a file set with the name abutment, where we will group different drawing files which are offered on the right side by just drag and dropping them to the corresponding folder. A file set is a very efficient way of grouping together a series of drawing files. In that way, it is not necessary to open each specific drawing file separately, but we can open the group of drawing files which are grouped in one file set. This will also help with the definition of the layouts when we will open grouped drawing files at once. We will create several file sets for this project, for example abutment, then for Pier 2, for Pier 1, for main girder, and so on. After we define the wished print sets and file sets, we will start with the creation of the layouts by defining the layout structure first. The user can create a finished layouts with the tools available under the Layout Editor task. After selecting the Layout Editor, a layout opens in a viewport. By opening project-specific bases here, we can access created layouts and structure the layouts by using different structural levels. The user has the possibility to organize the layouts in the similar manner as a building structure. We will create several structural levels here for each element of the bridge, like for example one structural level for the abutment, one for main girder, and for other elements of the bridge. To each of them we will assign several layouts by defining their numbers. The layout structure represents a very efficient tool for structuring and organizing layouts in a logical way. After the layouts are created, we will start with setting up the page. This tool is used for specifying the format, orientation, and the margins of the page. The page represents the area of the layout, which is represented with the white paper. The user has the possibility to select between different offered page formats. The user can also decide about printing the margins. By using the Setup Page tool, we can also define the layout border, which defines the boundary of a layout. We can choose different border sizes and styles. There are several border types available. The user can also decide about the border pen and the line type. In the next step, we will learn how to define the title block, the layout legend. Defining the title block, we are creating the legend of a current layout. The user has the possibility to select between different offered layout legends under the default folder. All the legends are created by the program as associative legends. We will learn in the next chapter how is it possible to define a different attributes for the legend according to the user needs. By using the tool Layout and Project Attributes, the user is able to define layout attributes, such as, for example, layout name, layout number, layout format, and description. When selecting the layouts later, the user can filter them by these defined attributes. The Index Attributes table is located in the lower area of this window. We can enter here index, type, date, and the note. Also, we can enter the checker date, the approval name as the person who approved the layout, and other general notes. In that way, by using the index table, we can always follow the revision of the layout, which will be placed at the top or the bottom of the layout legend. We will now define several layout attributes, and we will fill in the index table according to this project needs. By staying in the same window, we can define the project attributes by selecting the tool project attributes located in the bottom left corner. We can define and manage the attributes of the current project here, like for example, building contractor, details about the client, about construction project, general data, and other parameters related to the project. All these attributes will be visible in the layout legend. The project attributes are saved together with the project when the user exchanges or a backup project data. After finishing with the definition of the wished attributes, we will apply the changes to the project. The defined layout and project attributes will be visible in the predefined layout legend, which was selected from the default list of the offered legends in the Allplan Engineering. Beside that, there is also a possibility for a user-defined layout legend. Under the task area User-Defined Objects, we will select the tool Manage Label Styles Legends. We will select Legend when the new window will open. In this window, we will select the folder Default, where we can already select between different offered legends, and we will select the one with logo without index and copy it into the new private folder with the wished name, but with a file number which starts with 7. We already have defined some files, so we will now define under the file number 9 the legend with the user-defined name and save it. In this way, we copied already existing layout legend and we can now edit it according to our needs. For this, we will use the tool Modify Legends in order to modify the copied legend from the default folder into the private folder or office or project folder. We can see here the layout legend, which can be now adjusted according to the user needs by using the functions for moving, cutting some parts of the layout legend. Then we can edit the text, format the text. We can also add some cells, delete a cell, and modify graphics cells. When we finish with the legend modifications, we will press Escape and save the changes that we made. After that, we can return to the layout editor, and by selecting the tool Setup page, we can again select the wished layout legend. This time, we can change the folder to private and select the predefined user legend that we just modified. We can conclude from the previous steps that the user has a huge freedom in defining the wished layout legend according to the project needs or according to the office standards. In the next chapter, we will learn how to predefine the layout border. This step will help us to be more precise in organizing and fitting the wished components of the model into the layout frame. By selecting the tool Layout Border, we will select the format of the border which corresponds to the format of the page we selected previously for our layout. We will place the defined layout border somewhere in the workspace of the layout, and afterwards we will select it and cut and paste it in the working area next to the components we want to arrange to fit into this border. After the layout border is placed, we will first delete unnecessary components and the texts, and then we would need to adjust the scale. For this, we will use the tool Resize and resize the pasted layout border by using the input option factor. Since we use the scale 1 to 100, the necessary factor in both directions will be 100. After the layout border has the correct size, we can start to arrange the components into this border, and we can also use the properties window on the left side and set the format of construction line for the border, and in that way the border will not be visible while printing. In the next step, we need to define layout element and select the wished layout window. We will use the tool layout element in order to address separate drawing files or a complete file set which we created before in order to position them in the layout. We can also define scale here, font size, text directions, and other parameters important for the layout. For this layout, we will select the fileset abutment which was created previously. We will place the wished layout element in the working space, and we will then select the tool layout window in order to select the window from layout elements already placed. By using the layout window tool, we will place the sections of our layout element into the layout. We will create a rectangular polygonal window and select the wished elements. After that, we can use the typical edit functions and move this layout window to the proper position on the page. Later on, it is possible to use Modify Layout Window tool to enter the new polygon in already created layout window. We can use the layout element function again and select individual drawing files which we want to put additionally to our layout. For the new inserted layout elements, we can also adjust the scale, drawing type, and all other parameters. When we finish with the definitions for one layout, we will open the layout structure, define the new layout with a wished name, and following the same workflow, we will define all the elements of the layout as necessary. In the next step, we will finally use the created print sets. Select the wished layout window, click the right mouse button, and choose the option Transfer Layer Visibility. We can select here the wished print set or the layer visibility settings which we want to place in the layout. In this way, we can generate different views of layout without having to assemble a new one. We will set the wished drawing type as well, and we can see that the layout preview has changed by just selecting several different options under the Transfer Layer Visibility tool. We will do the same for all layout windows where we want to activate specific layers or to change the drawing type. Since we created all the print sets by deactivating the layers related to the reinforcement, we can see that in all our layout windows there is no reinforcement visible, which corresponds perfectly to the creation of the formwork drawings we are creating right now. Beside the classical layout creation, it is also possible to print the content of some window directly. In order to print the content of some window, it is necessary to click on the empty working area of that window, and after that to go to Quick Access toolbar and use the tool Print Preview, where we can adjust additional options. Here we can make some settings regarding printer, paper format, orientation, margins, scale, and also header and footer. There is a Set button for header and footer, which will lead us to more options related to these elements of the paper. It is possible to write directly text for header and footer, send the parameters for the text as font or alignment, but it is also possible to select the project attributes directly here, which will be then added to the header and footer content. After we adjust all the settings, we can directly print the paper or export to PDF from here. In the next chapter, we will learn how to print layouts. After the layout is generated in the layout editor, we will select the Print Layout tool. Using the tab Printer, we can set the printer settings as the format of the paper, the margins, and other available parameters. By using the tab Print Profile, we can, for example, set the pen and color assignments. Here it is possible to select between different colors used in Allplan and by the printer. We can make wish settings here and close the window. By using the Save Print Profile option, it is possible to save all the settings in the new user-defined print profile with an extension NPP. In that way, we ensure that all the layouts used in the project have the uniform look and that they are in accordance to the office and project demands. There is a default print profile called Standard NPP available in Allplan, but the user is free to create the new one. In order to create or modify a print profile, the user must be logged in as the administrator or as a user with administrator privileges. Beside the direct printing, we can also export layout to numerous file types. Using the tool Export PDF Data, we can export selected layout directly to the PDF file format. We can also adjust additional settings here, and we can use standard print profile or user-defined print profile in order to keep the uniform look of the layouts. Since we use different layers in our project, we can also control the layer visibility directly in the PDF file. By using the tool Export Layouts, we can export selected layouts into the DWG or DXF format. We can select the wished file type and we can adjust additional settings. Those settings are the same as the one we use when importing those file types. There are general settings available and also advanced settings which we can set. We can save all the settings for the future use. After we press Save, the layout is exported into the wished file format. In order to arrange the elements of the layout, the user is free to use all the tools from the Edit task area like copying, moving, or cutting and mirroring. It is recommended to do the most of the work directly in the model, but the user has also possibility to add additional tables, PDF files, pictures and other elements directly in the layout editor. With this chapter, we are finishing today's webinar. Thank you for your attention and see you on the next webinar when we will show you how to create, modify and share BIM bridge model created by Allplan Bridge Solution.